Okay, Virgo, this is going to be your reading for September 9th. 9/9, what a better date, right? There's no better date than 9/9 to do a Virgo reading. So the next reading that came up is Taurus. So Taurus's reading will be next after this. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, cross-watch other readings for the people that are in your life so you can understand them better, the energy that they're in. I'm not here to tell fortunes or the future. I cannot do that. We have free will from God, meaning that you could go left today and right tomorrow. So what I do is I actually explain the cards and you make your own story. I'm not here to tell your story. You tell your own story. Okay, so happy birthday, Virgos. I know we're in Virgo season. This first card is Wheel of Fortune. Don't forget to answer your weekly question. I did do weekly questions for each sign. And just go ahead and answer them in the comment section of your reading. That way we can, get that connection of the energy. Also, get to know each other better. Well, that's fun. It's just something fun to do. Why not, right? Keep the comments positive, guys. I will not tolerate any negativity at all. No shaming, no blaming, no criticizing. As far as I go, I screw up. I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect because I am not perfect. So you will hear phones go off. You will hear people like, something's happening. But it's just, I'm human and this is going to be very real and raw. Okay. There's not going to be any, I'm not going to try to pretend to be something that I'm not. I screw up and I'll admit it. So that is me. So I don't need anybody's criticism or anything like that either. Okay. I know when I screw up. Also, please take, it's like in kindergarten, got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Okay. So right now, you guys, whatever you guys are going through, Virgo, is just a lot because you guys have 3 major arcanas that came out right now. Major arcanas are the biggest life lessons, right? So 0 to 22, and the rest of the cards are the minor arcana. So these 3 cards right away, we have Wheel of Fortune, the World, and the Moon. So thanks for guys. I'm very grateful. All these cards keep falling. Okay, Queen of Cups in reverse. And then we'll do a couple more, and then we'll get, like I said, I'm not going to tell your story. Every Virgo can't be going through the exact same thing at the exact same time. Everybody's going to have everybody's on different paths, different levels, different, there's no way every Virgo could be going through the exact same thing at the exact same time. So I will explain these cards to you. You tell your story. I'm not here to tell your story, okay? I don't know your story unless we do a personal reading. And if you want to do a personal reading, that's in the description box below, okay? All right, so we'll do a couple more, and then we'll get to this. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and like I said, cross-watch. Wow, there goes your card. Nice. We'll do one more because it is Virgo. Yay, wow, 10-10, right? Wow. Nice, nice, nice. Look at this, though. What is that about, Virgo? We'll find out. Okay, so first card, Wheel of Fortune. This is the Major Arcana. Because it's upright, that means that there is something great going to happen right now. There's a cycle. So basically, the Wheel of Fortune is like life cycles, right? So something has come to a complete circle. It's upright, so this is good luck to me. A lot of people, take things a different way, but how I feel, this is how I see it, okay? So Wheel of Fortune, because it is upright, this means good luck to me. There's a cycle. It's Taurus energy. Well, these are the 4 fixed signs of zodiac. So it's Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. Okay. Doesn't necessarily mean anything. It just means that the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac, which is the 4 directions, which is the 4 elements, which is the 4 directions, right? So it means the totality of it all, right? So this is 10. Look at 10, 10, 10. Nice, Virgo. So this is good luck, karma, life cycles, like I said, destiny, or a turning point. There possibly is a turning point that came, with you, Virgos. I know that there was something that you guys were going through, a lesson like letting go of maybe certain thought processes or things that were self-limiting beliefs, things like that. I know that was happening with Virgos, so that could be possibly one thing or another that went on. So the next card is a Major Arcana card. This is the World. This is the last card of the Major Arcana. The World is a completion. It's a circle. See that? Circle, circle. So it's awesome. So there's some kind of completion or an integration or accomplishment that you went through. This is like complete or finale. Could also be traveling, and this is also the 4 signs. So this is a whole complete totality of it all, right? So you came to a conclusion, you came to an understanding, you took what you learned. So right here, she's holding on to these 2 wands. This is the wands of the Magician. The Magician is Virgo and Gemini, right? It's the planet of Mercury. So the wands of the magician are basically like you have all that you need. So she's holding on to those wands, right? And she's looking to her past as she's stepping to her future, meaning that you have come to a realization of something, or something in your life has significantly shifted, and you are looking to the past of the lessons that you learned from that, but you're still moving forward, which is fantastic. It's great. Like I said, there's a completion here, an accomplishment. So awesome. And then here's the moon card. The moon is Pisces energy, and the moon card is number 18 in the major arcana. This is Neptune and Pisces. So this is like maybe an illusion, right? Or the subconscious. Now your intuition, seeing light in the dark, right? So if you can see here, this is like the crab is coming out of the water, right? The water is our emotions, and it's going towards this, right? There's two towers. There's a dog and a wolf. So with this, I make the distinction of, you know, like the yin and the yang, right? But you're taking the middle path. So that's the balance, right? The moon is like, and the moon's also about emotions. It's the feminine aspect of us. See the sun and the moon. So basically this is like the two complete polar opposites of each other, but you found the middle path of that, right? You found the way through it. So something that is like your truth, their truth, the truth, right? So that's, to me, that's what the moon means. Seeing the light in the dark, coming to a balance in your life. So it's not too extreme and it's not too less. You know what I mean? It's not too much, but it's not too little, right? It's just enough, right? So that's, you learned how to balance something out. It could be your emotions, it could be your thought process, it could be anything. The next card is the Ace of Cups, which is a new love, or it could be a new emotion. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be with a new person, because cups represents our feelings, emotions, and relationships, which means that it could be with the same person, just a new outlook on love, right? Or a new emotion or a new feeling of it. So the aces on the top of Tree of Life are, if you can think of the Tree of Life, it goes ace through 10. 10's at the very bottom, which is the completion of something, right? So the aces start at the very top, and that's of God, right? So nothing has tainted this yet. It's number 1. We go through these steps of the Tree of Life all the way to 10, and 1 is basically the beginning of that lesson, or that it's a brand new start, right? So this right here, this is God's hand in this. He's holding your cup, and it gives it a lot of protection, power, vitality, because he's protecting that cup. And it's holding this cup right here, and this dove right here is pouring in so much love and grace into this cup that now it is overflowing into this river right here. And these are our 5 senses, right? So this is our emotions, right? And this is the river. So that's why cups represents our emotions, which is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, okay? Now the next one is the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups in reverse. So this is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Like I said, cups represents our feelings, emotions, relationship. This card specifically is Cancer. And the thing about her is it's emotional composure, right? So this is in reverse. This is telling me that maybe your emotions ran too high, or you were not you didn't have emotional composure, which means either you had you had too much or you had too little, right? Either you were expressing way too much or you weren't expressing at all. And now what this is telling me, that you've learned how to get this emotional composure because of this. I can see it right here, right? There's a completion here. There's a completion and a lesson that was learned, otherwise you would have never gotten to this card right here, right? It's because you learned how to actually get, just like this right here, is he's walking in the middle of this extremities, these two polar opposites, the dog and the wolf, right? So you might have been being the dog or being the wolf, but either way you've learned how to balance that. All right, so her right here, like I said, it's emotional composure. So reverse, it was like maybe codependency or maybe smothering, or like I said, emotional composure, you didn't have emotional composure, meaning that your emotions were not balanced or leveled, right? So this is too much emotion or not enough, okay? The Queen of Cups, she is in control of her emotions. This is in reverse, so it's saying that that's not what happened here, right? So now we go to the Four of Cups. So this are Four of Pentacles. Pentacles are earth signs, which is what you are, your element, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So Pentacles represent anything in our physical material world, right? Fours on the Tree of Life are the merited deservingness. In our human sense and our human desire, we feel like we deserve things, right? Or we feel like this is the way that it is. We feel like our way is our way, and that's the way it is, okay? Or the possession of something, or the obsession of something. So if you can see here, there's a pentacle on top of his head. He's planted on these pentacles. Like, now he's not just sitting there with the pentacles by him. He's planted on them. Like, nope, you're not going anywhere. And right here, if you can see, he's holding on to this pentacle. He's not holding onto it like this. he's wrapped around that pentacle. Sorry, he's wrapped around it like this, right? Like mind, mind, mind. So this is like possession, obsession, right? So this is the card that represents of that sometimes hanging on does more damage than letting go. I mean, this could mean anything in our 3D sense, in our material world. Meaning this could be an obsession or a possession. It could be money, it could be a job, it could be anything. It could even be a thought process of this, like self-limiting beliefs, right? You're hanging on to a self-limiting belief that is not serving you. Whatever this is, this person right here is hanging on to this, and it's causing misery. Like I said, sometimes hanging on, it does more damage than letting go, even if that is a self-belief and what we believe is right, right? We're not always right. Sometimes we come up with things that through our life we have protected ourselves from, or that we believe to be true from self-limiting beliefs, or from rose-colored glasses, or fogged lenses, or see what I'm saying? Like, we learn things from our parents that maybe were not necessarily accurate because they were not healed, or we have come up to something on our own truth of that's not really the truth. Like I said, like it's your truth, their truth, and the truth. So that's the balance is what we need to figure out. We can't always think that we're right. So this person right here is hanging on to something that's actually causing misery, right? So look at, see his face? It's misery, but he believes so much that this is mine. Well, I protected this long, so it's mine. This money, it was so hard for me to earn this money, so it's mine. Do you see what I'm saying? This is not healthy at all. So we need to learn to let go of control. Okay, we need to let go, learn to unlearn, right? Unlearn the things that were self-limiting, that don't do us any good. A lot of times when we go through life happens and it hurts us, and then we put all this armor, we build up all these walls, and then we start coming up with a belief that, hey, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, because nope, but I'm right and you're wrong. No, that's not what that means. Like I said, there's your truth, their truth, and God's truth. God's truth is in the middle. That's the balance. That's what we need to learn or unlearn. Everything that we learned, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's the emotion composure. You let go of that. You were not emotionally in control of things. It just shows it right here because this is emotion, right? And you come to this is good luck. You change the cycle, right? You change something. Something was turned around because you came to a completion. You came to an understanding. You started realizing, like, hey, I need to follow. I need to balance this out, right? And now this has happened because of the fact that there was not an emotional stability right here, because you're hanging on to a self-limiting belief, or you're hanging on to a possession obsession, or a relationship, or a person, or a car, or a house, or money, whatever it is in our 3D world, right? Even a thought process, that's our 3D world. So down here, the 5 of Cups. Fives are in the middle of the tree of life, if you can imagine. So this is 1 to 10. Fives are right in the middle. So this is the conflict card. This is like the testing card, right? Cups are our emotions, feelings, relationships. So this is in reverse. This person right here, this is like the dark night of the soul, right? So these cups were spilled, and that person was so focused on the cups that were spilled. If they would just turn around and see that there's something still remains, they would saw a path over these troubled waters, right? So this is Mars and Scorpio. So this is the Lord of loss and pleasure. And because it's in reverse, it's telling me that you're moving on now, right? You turn something around. This is turning it around. Now there's hope. Like I said, now you see the path over this troubled waters, which is fantastic. That's great, because that's what sometimes that happens to us. In order for us, we have to go through things to learn something, to grow and evolve, right? And then unlearn what we thought was right, or unlearn what we were told. Okay, so here's the Emperor. Now this is a father card. Okay, so this makes perfect sense. So this is number 4 in the major arcana. This is considered the father card. So this is Aries energy. So this is the Emperor. So he is the leader. He's the ruler, right? He's like the father. He's disciplined. He knows what he wants. He does what he does, and everybody follows him, right? Because he's very disciplined, like I said, But this is the thing about the Emperor. He sits here, and all this stuff's on and everything like that. But everybody sits there and wonders why he's got armor underneath all this clothing, and they're like, why? Like, why would he wear armor underneath all these clothes? And he says, well, the reason why I wear armor underneath all of this is to protect me from my biggest threat. What's that? Vulnerability. Like that's the way our dads were. Like they were taught at a very young age that don't show vulnerability. Don't be vulnerable, because once you're vulnerable, you get killed. Once you let down that guard, that's when you get killed. That's not true, okay? And in some sense, yeah, maybe in the army, whatever. I mean, I don't know, but in a relationship, in your life, in any aspect, you need to be vulnerable. We are human beings. Being vulnerable is courageous, okay? You're having courage. Taking a risk is being courageous. You're taking a risk. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the outcome of it, but you're taking that risk. You're going to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable, because if you don't show that side of your vulnerability, you're blocking that out. Then you're blocking out all the good, because you cannot block out an aspect of yourself and expect the whole totality of something or something to work out if you are not all in, right? That doesn't make any sense. That's not the way that it works. You have to be all in, and the vulnerability is courageous. You have to be vulnerable. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's people, like as we're growing up, and possibly when we were little, we were vulnerable, and people have taught us throughout the years that we need to start putting on this armor and building up these walls to protect ourselves. Well, you know what though? We're adults now. We don't need to protect ourselves anymore. We can protect what I'm saying is that we don't need to do that to protect ourselves from others, because we can protect ourselves, right? We don't need this armor anymore. We don't need those walls anymore, because we can figure things out. We're very smart people. We learn as we grow. We're smarter than we were when we were children, right? So you have to be vulnerable. You cannot block that aspect out of you, because if you're not vulnerable, then you're blocking out not only the bad, but you're also blocking out the good. And then you're not living life, right? That's the balance right here. This is the bad and this is the good. Well, if you block out this part, then you're going to block out this part too, because you're not going to find that middle path, right? Because there isn't going to be no middle path, because you have to have these two in existence in order for there to be a middle path, right? This wolf and this dog right here. Are you going to be the dog, or are you going to be the wolf? Well, instead of being extreme or not at all, instead of feeling nothing at all or feeling too much, you need to find that balance. And that's what this is, right? Our parents were, like, I'll give you something to cry about. Why are you crying? Calling us, like, if we're scaredy cats or whatever. I don't want to swear, but you know what I mean. So then we learn how to armor up. We learn how to block all that, because we're not going to get hurt again. But we're not children anymore. Okay, we learn how to go. We cope through situations. We need to be vulnerable. Okay, we have to be vulnerable, because that's at our best, our true and authentic selves. And honestly, like I said, being vulnerable is extremely courageous, because you're taking a risk. Okay, there's nothing that happens to us now that we cannot learn how to get through it. And what I mean by that is that we are adults now, so we don't need to be protected as much, right? We can figure things out. We'll know if somebody's calling us a name that it's not really about us. We know, you know what I'm saying? So now we learn that it never really was about us. And that it was, when we were children, we were never really the problem. Or even with our parents, like they did the best they could, like they did the best that they could, the best way that they could, like they did the best they can, the best that they could, the best way that they knew how, meaning that none of our parents were perfect. We like to blame our parents for everything. We have to learn how to forgive our parents, because they did the best that they could, the best way that they knew how, with what they had. Okay, a lot of our parents were not healed. In that generation, they're not even supposed to talk about it. They're not even going to admit that they were even wrong. So just know that you have to take out this armor. You have to unbuild those walls. Otherwise, if you don't, then you just gave up, and you're never going to evolve. You're never going to get better. Like you're never going to experience anything, because you're not being vulnerable. Being vulnerable is having an imagination. Being vulnerable is our spirit and our soul. Being vulnerable is when we create things. Okay, so we have to learn how to take off this armor. And that's what you learned how to do, clearly, right? Because that's what this Five of Cups in reverse means. You found that path over the troubled waters. You found that path in between this, which is awesome. That's why there's new love. That's why this is a completion and a good luck. Okay, so now this next card is the Ten of Pentacles. Tens, a completion. Yay, you did it. You did it. This is your element. Tens on the Tree of Life are completion. You completed something. So this is the last card of the Minor Arcana, which is the end all be all, which means that you have come to an accomplishment. You have come to a realization. The 10 is like a completion, and then the Pentacles represent our physical material world. But this right here is the end all be all. So this is Mercury in Virgo. So this is your element and also your planet. And this is the Lord of Wealth. So now that you have emotional composure, so where your heart chakra is green, right? So guess what color the money is? Green. So if you are having money issues, I wouldn't even worry about that anymore, just because of the fact that now that you have emotional composure and you learned how to balance this out, there's not too little and not too much, you learned complete balance, that's going to get this into an equal, that's what this is, right? So now your money is going to be better. So this is the Lord of Wealth. This is wealth, security, family, generations, a link between the physical world and the spiritual world, dimensions, financial security. Like I said, this is the end all be all of the whole Pentacles or the whole minor arcana completely, because this is the last card of the 1 through 10 on the Tree of Life, right? So this is the completion. So congratulations. Now this is another card, the 10 of Cups. So not only have you completed that, and now basically, if you can see, like, this is the Magician, this is the child's hand is on this dog's tail, this is Spirit, and then the Magician has the hand on the dog's head. These people right here are mirroring each other. This is like, if you can see, like right here, this is like a different dimensions. So this is, like I said, that the whole cycle, the whole circle, you've done it. There's a completion. So you have come to a very, very big spiritual blessing or awakening, or whatever you want to call it, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it. Everybody has different words for it. So you know that you have completed something here. So this is also, this one, you completed this in the emotional sense or relationship sense, or, you know, like Cups represents our feelings, our emotions, and our relationships, right? So the 10 is the completion of that. And Cups represents Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and if you can see here, it's a happy family, right? So now that there's a completion here, there's a graduation, if you will. This is Mars in Pisces, so this is the Lord of materialization. So this is divine love, blissful harmony, an alignment, a wish come true, contentment, fulfillment, and a celebration. Definitely celebrate. I mean, you guys come to a realization. It's 9/9 today too, so yeah, that's great. So here is the last card, which is kind of, okay, so this is the 5 of Wands. That was the last card in the deck, or like if you flip it over. So I always take these. This 5 of Wands. So Wands are passion or action. But this is in the middle of the Tree of Life. So this is a testing card, right? So you might be being tested right now. The universe might be testing you, just letting you know. So what that means is that they're going to throw something at you to see if you have that, if you really are going to have that emotional composure, if you really are going to go, you know, take the middle road instead of being too extreme or not enough. You see what I'm saying? You could be being tested right now. This is about people fighting. If you can see that, it looks like a war, right? So the thing about this card is that nobody's really hitting each other. Nobody's really physically hitting each other, if you can see that. Everybody's just up. So don't be defensive, right? And don't fight. So that would be the lesser of this, right? So the middle part of this tower would be being too sensitive, being too defensive, right? This part would be fighting. Take that middle road, right? So that's probably what you're going to be tested on. So be mindful of that, right? So what happens is when we go through these big lessons like this, the universe will come in and throw something at us to make sure that we did learn a lesson, right? Now they're going to make sure that we apply that lesson in our life. So something might come up that either could make you feel defensive or make you to go to the extreme and start fighting. Take that middle ground, because what the universe likes to do is make sure that you are not only did you learn your lesson, which we see that clearly, now you have to apply it. Okay, now you have to apply it in your life, and that's going to be the ultimate test. That would be like a judgment, right? So good. I know you guys can do it, and I think that's the reason why that this is here, is to tell us that. That's why I say that, because I mean, I know there's a completion right here, but the completion of is the learning of it. Now the universe is going to see if you apply it, okay? So make sure you apply it in what you've learned, because that's what she's doing. She's looking to her past, which she's stepping towards our future, meaning that we take what we learn as we go and we keep moving forward. But we have to take it with us, because we didn't learn it for no reason. We learned it for a reason. We learned it because the universe now wants us to apply that into our lives. Okay, so let's see any messages from Spirit. I think Spirit says the angel says it's woohoo! Holy moly. Okay, so we have the 2 of Swords in reverse. And we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. That's your card, which is kind of why. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm so grateful. So the 2 of Swords, 2 to me is a balance, right? Or it's a partnership, or 2 people. Or it could be, like I said, just a balance, right? So the Swords represents air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So you might not have been talking to an air sign. Swords represents our feeling, or not our feeling, sorry, that's Cups. swords represents our behaviors or our thought process, okay? So if you think about a sword, it looks like a mirror. Mirror's the quality of our minds, right? So you might have been blocked, or somebody might have blocked you, or you guys might not have been in communication, possibly, but right here, it's in reverse, so it's telling me that now there's no blockages here, or your mind was blocked, you know, but this has to do with two, so I'm assuming that it was maybe with somebody else, or you thought that maybe you were, I'm not sure, but basically in reverse, this is saying that now it's open. There's a line of communication that is open, or a line of you being able to think now. Yes, I knew that was going to come out. Ace of Pentacles. What did I say, guys? Remember I said with that the heart chakra is green and that it affects your money? And there's the Ace of Pentacles. So if you were like didn't have money or lost money, now you're going to gain it back, because now you have that emotional composure, and that is our heart green chakra, which is green is money. So once you balance your emotions and you have your heart chakra back green, and it's not all like upside down or whatever, now you're going to be able to now this is back being, do you see what I'm saying? You're not going to have money. It's going to affect if we're emotionally unstable, it's going to affect our money because our heart chakra is green. So now that you are emotionally stable and it's not affecting your heart chakra, now the money is going to come in. If you were having money problems, okay? Four Wands, it's a celebration. The Moon in reverse. Uh-oh. Okay, the Seven of Cups. Uh-oh. So don't make the wrong decision. So we'll cover all this. Because like I said, you might be being tested. So make sure you apply it. And what you've learned, that self-limiting beliefs of something, or that hanging on to something that's not serving you. It's such a habit for us to be able to get right back into our habits or things that we, are so used to doing. It's hard to change, but we have to change, because then that's how we evolve. That's how we get better, right? And it's very hard though, because we get so used to a certain way, a certain being, a certain thought, right? A certain way of being, and we get so used to that it's easy for us to go right back to it. Okay, so make sure that you don't go right back into it, because it's going to keep happening. Whatever had happened is going to keep happening. This is what happens to the Tower. So what happens is, if we don't pass that test, if we learn a lesson, if we don't learn a lesson, we're going to keep learning. We're going to keep going through these Tower moments until we learn that lesson. If we don't apply what we learned into our life, we're going to keep going through these Tower moments. And that's basically what we go through before we learn this lesson. And the Tower moments are going to keep happening. And they're going to keep happening and happening, and they're going to get worse and worse and worse until we learn that lesson, until we apply it in our lives. Okay, so it's up to us. Yeah, we learn the hard way, but it's up to us to apply what we've learned into our life, okay? So the Two of Swords, like I said, swords represents Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, which is air signs, which is our thoughts and our behaviors, if you will. So the two is the Moon and Libra, a lot of Moon. So this is the Lord of Peace. So in reverse, this is like indecision, confusion, maybe too much information, a stalemate, or like I said, an unblock. There's an unblockage here, or maybe like if you weren't talking to somebody, or a letting go of a thought process, okay? You're not blocked anymore. Now the King of Pentacles, it's in reverse. So this is your element, but this is Taurus. This is the Lord of Spirit and Earth. So in reverse, this is saying financially inept or obsessed with status. So you could have been obsessed with what other people think about you, or obsessed with your status, okay? Or maybe being stubborn or selfish, okay? So the King of Pentacles, the thing about him is he's the Lord of Spirit and Earth, is that he gets so much wealth that he generates so much wealth from his self-worth that he is actually able to share it with everybody. But in reverse, this is telling me that it's somebody who's being selfish or being stubborn, okay? You didn't want to let go of this self-limiting beliefs, right? And now here's the Ace of Pentacles, like I said. If we get that emotional composure and our heart chakra's green, it's new money, okay? The aces are on top of the tree of life. So this is the Lord of abundance and wealth. So this is new money, new success, vitality, new abundance. God has his hand on your pentacle. It's no longer like this. God has the hand on the pentacle, and he holds it up to the sun, meaning that all pentacles lead back to here, right? He's holding up to the sun. There's a lot of power, vitality, so this is new money. So this is the Lord of abundance and wealth. Now here's the Four Wands. The fours is a merited deservingness. Wands are like the passion, action. So the Four of Wands, this is like a celebration or like a happiness, right? So this is the Lord of perfected work. You perfected something, you learned something, right? This is Venus and Aries. So this right here is like a celebration, joy, harmony, relaxation, a homecoming. If you weren't home, or if you're going to end up going home, whatever this is, or going back home or whatever, or somebody's coming home, that's what this is, a celebration, right? So And the 4s are like, you know, why I deserve this. Well, yes, we do deserve the good things in life that we get, okay? But don't think too much into it, okay? Don't worry about status too much, because then God will humble us very quickly. So the moon in reverse, which is kind of, I wonder why you got the moon in reverse. Now remember to apply what you learn in your life, because you are being tested, okay? That means let go of the self-limiting beliefs. Don't be too stubborn. Don't worry about status, because that's all our, you know, when we die, guys, we don't take anything with us but our bodies. Or our bodies. We don't take anything with us but our spirits. We don't even take our bodies with us, okay? So be mindful of that. That what makes you abundant and wealthy is what's inside of you right here, not what you're actually possessing, okay? And money, things like that, status like that, we don't take that with us when we die. What makes us whole and makes us full is what is in our soul and our spirit, not what we physically have in this material world, okay? Keep that in mind, guys, okay? So this is Pisces and Neptune. So this is like, in reverse, it means that you're releasing fear, guys. Repressed emotions, secrets revealed, or your dark is coming to the light. Yay! Like I said, you did it. So 7 of Cups. Cups are emotions, feelings, relationships. 7s on the tree of life are like an illusionary success, okay? So be mindful of this. Like I said, don't count your ducks before, or don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Sometimes those sayings, I get them so screwed up, you guys, because I just go with the flow. So the 7 of Cups would be Venus, which is love, and Scorpio, which is death or change and transformation. So this is the Lord of illusionary success, right? So there's opportunities, choices, wishful thinkings, illusions that are not always greener. So there might have been an illusion that something was more greener on the other side of the fence, until you jump that fence and you realize that it was fake grass, right? So that's the illusion of it. We always think like in the other card, like these cards, he's standing there like, oh, what should I choose? Like he's like, oh, look at that. That's our before God humbles us, right? It's like, oh, I have all these options. But if you look closer, like what are in those cups? Is it the snake? There's a snake and there's a tower, there's a dragon. That's because we have an illusion thinking that other things will be better than what they really are, and they're not. And that's what our self-limiting belief would do to us. We would make us think that something is better when it's really not. It's really not. Like, oh, well, on the outside, this is the way it looks, so everybody is going to accept it and like it. I need this status, right? But on the inside, you're like, this person is a piece of crap. And even though they look good, doesn't mean that they are good, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Anything in our physical material world, this is all an illusion. We can't take any of it with us, right? So why bother with it? What I mean by that is if it doesn't fill you up inside and your soul and your heart and the love and make you feel like a better person, then what are you doing it for? For other people's opinions of you? What does that matter? Because in the end of all end, you die alone. And your spirit and your soul goes with you. So that what matters is what makes you happy, what fills your spirit and your soul, not what you can hang on to that leaves you when we go. Do you see what I'm saying? What makes you a better person is not what you have, but what's inside of you, right? Clearly. So if you completely always think about status, you're basically basing your whole life off of other people's perceptions, which are completely thrown off because their truth, like I said before, there's your truth and their truth and the truth. So their perception of your status is not the same as your status. It's their perception of it. Do you see what I'm saying? And everybody looks through something in a different way, everybody was raised differently. People are different. So why do you concern yourself with status of an opinion of somebody else? It shouldn't matter, guys. And then, when you surround yourself with people like that, like basically, then you're not going to be happy because they're basically judging you on what you have and not who you are, and that in itself is BS. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's the illusion, right? So keep that in mind, guys, okay? And then here's the 8 of Pentacles. 8s are seeking solutions. Pentacles are earth signs, which is Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. So this is like a mastery. This is the Lord of Prudence. This is your energy. This is the Sun, which is joy and power and energy, the best energy ever, and Virgo, right? So this is the Lord of Prudence. So this is disciplined, just like the Emperor, right? Self-good, repeating tasks. There's a mastery. You mastered something. Repetition and skill development. You have learned, like I said, you've learned what was going. Now, you've learned how to master this. Now apply it in your life. Otherwise, this is what's going to happen. Okay? Try not to go right back into it's easier to keep in the familiar than it is to change, right? It's like they say it's easier to it's easier to be bad than it is to be good, because the reward for being good is so much better. So that's why it's harder to be good. So what I mean by that is it's hard to change when we are a certain way, right? But we didn't go through all of this. We didn't go through all of this turmoil. We didn't go through all of this lessons in life just for God to torture us. We went through these lessons to make us better people, to evolve, to be a better person, to our light to shine a little bit brighter. And if we don't apply that in our lives and we stay this way, we get stuck. Okay, and this isn't all for just for us to be tortured. That's not what we're here for. We're here to learn and grow. We're here to evolve. We're here to be better people. We're here to be at our core level who we were always meant to be, right? That's why we're here. That's why there's so much pain, and there's so much, heartbreak, because that's through pain and failure is how we learn. Okay, but we can't stop there. We can't armor up, and we can't keep those walls up, because then we get stuck, and it was all for nothing. It's in vain, right? We go through all of this for lessons to make us better people of who we truly are at our core level, okay? To unlearn everything that we learned when we got here. And that was because we chose this. We want to be better people. That's why with God, we're good, but we know there's something greater, and that's what we're striving to be. Okay, so congratulations. Happy birthday, Virgo. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, guys. And with that, I'll end this reading, and thank you so much. Bye.